And we're back at the Hamburg Mobile Summit Live. Thank you very much for staying with us. We're ready to welcome our next speaker, Anya Stoyanova, Senior Marketing and BizDev Manager at Imperia Online. Anya, hello.
Hi, hi,
Hello,
how
hello.
everyone?
Good. How are you today?
I'm good, thank you. Very
Good.
nice being with you guys.
Likewise. Where are you based, by the way?
I'm in Sofia, Bulgaria.
Oh, nice. Must be very nice weather there.
Actually, it was nice until just a couple of minutes ago. Now it's pouring outside.
Oh, maybe it's for the best. So now you can focus on your talk and, not think about all the nice things happening outside your window. Thank you very much for joining. We are very excited to listen to your session.
Thanks as well for having me. Really nice being with you guys today. My name is Anya. I'm part of the marketing and business development team at Imperia Online. And I'm here today to talk about those 5 smooth steps we made from a developer to a publisher. Before moving further, I'll be glad to share some information for us. Imperia Online is a company founded by two co-founders with a budget of 500 euros back in the days when 15 years later, now we have already a portfolio of more than 28 games. We reached to more than 60 million players. Our team has more than 90 professionals. Since 2018, we became part of Stillfront Group. Just last month, after the latest acquisition, we are already 20 independent companies around the globe. So far, our games are available on more than 30 platforms, and we are actually the biggest gaming studio. I'm part of the team for already 8 years, and like I already said, I'm really happy to share some insights from Imperia Online today. Let's see step by step what was happening for all those years. Back in 2005, Imperia Online was founded, like I said, by two co-founders. One of them responsible for the design of the game and the other one responsible for the code. They started with a budget of just 500 euro, which were invested for the first server. They were sharing the same love for similar games, so there were no doubts or questions what type of games our company is going to be developing. So free-to-play games are part of our portfolio, and actually today they are part of our DNA already. There were no doubts also what type of audience we are going to target, or what type of genre of web browser games at that time we will be starting with. At that time, we were actually one of the first in Bulgaria launching our first web browser game, Imperia Online. When we launched Imperia Online for the first time in August, the game was available just in a couple of languages. Thanks to the help of our audience and the players, we started having the game localized in additional languages like Portuguese, Russian, and etc. Thanks to the help, we today also have our games translated in 30 languages. We handle the whole community support here in-house in Sofia with a team of more than 15 people responsible for this one. Basically, at that time, thanks to the fact that we also were growing the game thanks to the localization, it was really easy to grow the network of partners we had, just because of the localization, and we were ready to think out of the box. So it was a nice next step for us in order to grow, not in terms of game and also team later on. I'm structuring my lecture also with sharing some tips from the perspective of a developer, in order to also don't underestimate the fact that you have to be different in order of your approach when you're trying to reach new partners and your new portals in order to grow your player base. It's not only about finding okay, I see a portal. Okay, they have web browser games. Okay, they have mine. It's also searching for the best platform, checking for competitors of yours if they are on this platform, similar games to yours. This means that the audience on these portals and platforms are going to also be fond of your game as well. And of course, don't forget the creative part. We are actually in the gaming industry. This also implies for the fact and for the time when you start looking for a partner for your web browser game. Here we have some of the partners we currently work. I'm not going to stop on partners like Miniclip, Facebook, Spiel Games, we all know. I'm here, I wanted to share here something about the partnerships we did with PayPal and ADN, for example. They are two very popular payment providers, but what we did with them was a special campaign that they were promoting Imperia Online among their users. So we gave the creativity an open door in order to find also another way of reaching to more new users. So here, yeah, don't forget that there are also nice ways of reaching to more players on the way of growing your game. We were conquering the world with Imperia Online with our first web browser game. So it was about time for our next web browser title. What we did was a full reskin for Imperia Online, and that's how we ended up launching Galactic Imperia, a complete game developed for the space. We conquered the space, so it was time for the next part to explore creating a game in a different genre. At that time, we launched the first version of Imperial Hero, our first RPG. Right now, actually, the game is live with the second version. We were growing in terms of team, game portfolio, so we ended up to the point that it was time for us to think, shall we continue self-publishing our titles or shall we start looking for a publisher? And yes, we had the same concerns each developer is having. Shall I share percentage of my revenue with a partner, or shall I continue on our own? In our case, it was a great choice to go with a partner, because as you can see on the screen, we did a full localization for Imperia for the MENA region, and we also have a separate version for the Russian-speaking countries. We managed to do that thanks to the fact that we were working with partners. They were giving us those small hints, the knowledge we didn't know, because they understand and know much more and much better the player base in those regions. For MENA, we added deserts, we changed the buildings, we changed the names. One of the buildings in Imperia is called Taverna. For MENA, we changed it to cafeteria according to the fact that it's more popular to drinking coffee there. So it turned out that these are really nice, great, successful steps we took in order to improve and reach to more players from these regions. And actually, this gave us the opportunity to explore new markets. Sometimes it might seem a little bit more scary reaching to regions we don't understand. That's the fact, and you have to consider working with a partner, because there are a lot of opportunities hiding there. 15 years being on the market led us to the place today when we have a portfolio of 28 titles. the MMORPGs and MMORTS are our core competence, but during the years we have been developing games in different genres. As you can see from the screen, we also created titles from really hardcore games to hyper casual ones. And we were looking for partners for each one of our part of our portfolio. Already, time for step 3. It was time and the market changed. We all were going to mobile. Our first mobile game actually was launched in 2010. It was the first version of Online Artillery. It's a casual game which you are in charge of a castle, and you have 3 turns in order to destroy your opponent's castle. There are a lot of great features. The first mobile game we launched was an iOS version. Later on, we did a second version of the game launched for both of the stores, Apple and Google. And actually, the game reached the top 20 charts in regions like US, Germany, France. Of course, after the first mobile game, it was time to launch our flagship title, Imperia Online, for mobile. At that time, we launched the version 5 of Imperia Online. Right now, we're live with the 7th version. I remember the time because I was just a freshman in the company, and it was a huge success and a huge hype, and we were really happy with what the team accomplished. When we launched our mobile version for iOS and Google, it came up to the point that we had to take the decision: shall we do a cross-platform game or no? Imperia Online is a hardcore title built on a native language, and yes, we started with a cross-platform game, but it seemed quite difficult for each one of the separate web and both mobile teams to keep on track at the same time, and each one of the features we have to be launched on the same time. So we decided that for us, it's not a good idea. So we decided to have 2 separate versions for mobile and web. But for instance, for games which are built on Unity, this might be, and it is going to be a much easier process. Don't forget to focus on your audience. A lot of good ideas are coming from there, just because your audience is giving a different perspective and looking on your game from a different angle. So really nice ideas came up, and in order to improve your game at the end, don't forget that you're creating this game for your players, of course, and focus on increasing their creativity, focus on new features, and don't be scared to try. For example, what we did with Imperia Online is that we worked really hard to add a feature when all the players were able to rescale their village, like they were able to move the buildings of the game. And it turned out that after launch, basically most of the users, they didn't use the feature. Some of them even were complaining to our community managers that it's not a nice idea. So even though we worked really hard to do it, we heard our players, and we of course remove it from the game. Here I stated some things and what we actually accomplished with the mobile version of Imperia Online. We have really high ratings on all 3 mobile stores, Apple Store, Google, and Windows Store. We were in top 50 grossing US strategy games. On the App Store, we have managed to reach more than 6 million users, and we were on top grossing in 100 countries, reached on 47th place. We were happy with the results we were reaching with our portfolio. We have been struggling all the steps only a developer can meet. And that led us to the next point and the next step 4, when we started exploring the possibility of Imperia becoming a publisher. Like I said, in the beginning of 2020, Siege World War II, a mobile game developed by Simotronics, a company also part of Steelfront Group, was transferred to Imperia Online. We started fully operating the game. In result, just for a year, we managed to quadruple the revenue of the game. We gathered all the knowledge we had from our titles, and we started handling the live ops, added a lot of in-game events, a lot of promotions. We added a lot of new tournaments, thanks to the fact that we were operating for so many years with our games. We had a big network of partners who really quickly were happy also to promote Siege as well. And thanks to the fact that we really have close connections with Google and Apple, we managed to have just for a year the game to be featured 4 times. Actually, the last featuring was a couple of weeks ago for the game, this, of course, for this year. What we managed to accomplish for 2020 is that we had 19 updates. And here I would like to say that each one of the updates was included with a new feature for the game. The game was additionally localized in more of 10 languages, which also helped to reach more players around the globe. In terms of numbers, we managed to increase the installs on iOS with almost 600%. 70% of increase was the converted users to payers. And the game currently, until March this year, has more than 4 million downloads on both stores. The success we managed to accomplish with our titles and also with Siege led us to step 5, when Imperia Online started operating as a hub for assets. Right now, our focus is looking for the next great game, which is interested in becoming part of a strong platform. The whole deal is structured very easily. We can go either with team or without a team acquisition, which is giving the opportunity for you, if you choose the second version, to focus on new projects or new games you have on the pipeline. Basically, it's a smooth transition of 3 months after a short period of due diligence process of a few weeks, after which we will be receiving 100% of your title and you will be receiving 100% of the cash, which is going to give you the case to open the door for new great games or projects you have to focus on. Basically, what actually happened last week, these are very fresh news, is that Crash Them All, a mobile idle RPG developed by Godzilla, a US-based company, was acquired by Steelfront Group. Basically, Imperia Online is very happy to be fully responsible for the operation of the game and being part of our portfolio. The game is a 13 million game asset. It has been downloaded more than 7 million times. By this month, there are 55,000 daily active users play and around 250,000 players on a monthly base. The game is like an idle RPG where the heroes are going through their evil lands in order to save the princess and on the way crush the bad bosses. It's a really great game and we are really happy to operate this one. Of course, next is looking for our next game asset. And if you're interested in discussing this topic, here are my contacts, or if you'd like to receive my presentation, please ping me. I'm also going to be live on the live chat, and now I'm open for questions.
Thank you very much, Anya. Thank you for your experience, very valuable experience actually in all the steps throughout the way. I'm sure it hasn't been a very easy way. I mean, like adventure, let's call it that. But yeah,
well, yeah,
congrats on everything happening.
Thanks. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Sadly, we don't have too much time left for questions, but I know for sure that there are actually there are questions in the chat by the stream window. So if you don't mind jumping in there and answering the questions right after the talk, that would be fantastic. Okay?
I'll be there. Yeah.
Cool.
Thank you very much for having me. It was really nice being part, and enjoy the rest of the show.
Oh, thank you very much. You too. Hope the weather gets better.
Thanks.
Okay, bye-bye.